Hello, I'm John Fox from John West. I am having a Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc adventure. And it was Mukuro, of course. Mukuro was killed twice.
Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious, because Kyoko's totally delusional!
Okay, it's pretending like I haven't figured this out ages ago.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima?
You wouldn't be Mukuro, but words can come. Oh.
Shoot! Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mondo Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada? Celestia Lu... whatever? Or maybe... Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice!
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Junko. Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again.
That also explains why Junko attacked. Because a fashionista's not going to jump on and attack someone, but a soldier will.
Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
A pretty unprofessional soldier would just jump and attack someone, but you know what I mean. It was a trained attack, right?
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
Then, it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... what does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive.
No, got the tattoo.
She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be. Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro, but can we really believe that? Make your argument.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the mastermind's true identity is...
What do you say, Monokuma?
The body we... It
wasn't Mukuro.
Shoot!
The body we found in the garden.
It wasn't. Then she's still alive. That's right. So the mastermind...
What do you say, Monokuma?
The body we... It
wasn't Mukuro.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
So all this time, I thought the voice might have been artificially pitched up.
The
It
body
might
we
be
found in the
artificially
garden
pitched down.
was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Someone made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be. Select someone. I said... Okay, I can't... I'm gonna have to do this. But I was talking to my friend halfway through the game. And I said, oh, somebody has to commit suicide, and one of the dead bodies has to commit a murder. And I think they'd finished it already.
Answer.
And so I was told, no, don't worry about that. It's never going to be those two.
It's the only possibility.
Lie to me.
Are you sure about that?
I'm going to pull up that conversation.
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
I'm going to grab it, actually. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea as well. Right, I've made myself a cup of tea. I've also found the conversation. Oh, damn it, I flicked it right at the last second. That's really annoying. Hang on, let's search for the word again. So I'm going to give you a little bit of preamble. Okay, so it starts off with me saying, Killer had to have gone to the library to get the extension cord. So I'm talking about the Mondo case, right? This is me talking about the Mondo case. And so I say, the killer had to have gone into the library to get the extension cord. The reply is, I have to stay real quiet with this one. This is a real good one. And I reply, I'm ruling out the 4 dead people. I appreciate that suicide is totally an option, but in this case it would be absurdly elaborate, because it's the girl, it's Chihiro. 2 dudes were blowing it up during their Steam competition, although I guess they were heavily featured during the plot. Could be the ultimate moral authority, but the ultimate evil authority. Lol, yes. Rule out the dead people. I'm ruling out the main character as well for similar reasons. Is what I say. Taka and Mondo, their bromance is contrived but nice. And this John. But I guarantee, at some point during one of the games, the main character and a dead person will do one of the murders. Not at the same time, though. Reply, swing and a miss, dear John. Goddamn liar. You've not played 2 or 3 yet, right? I mean, one of those. Okay, then again, I could be saying that to throw you off. So there you go. I just wanted and yes, I predicted suicide at that point as well. It's because they let us select the signs. Also, my hair looks really silly at the moment. It doesn't matter, John. It doesn't matter that your hair looks silly. Nobody cares. I admit it, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. By the way, I'm really confident, but like, if the game suddenly goes, but there's another level.
We saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes.
No, that wasn't her.
If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it, I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check her pulse, like they do in the movies and stuff, but... Oh yeah, I forgot, like, we should be able to see her tattoo. She really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say, she was gone. I did check absolutely, I can say for sure.
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
But if she was wearing a disguise, she could just put makeup over it.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
No, that was Mukuro dressed up as Junko.
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Huh?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I mean, Mondo's just a jar of fat. You could just fit him in one of the other places. I'm not going to put that in. Substitute? I'm not going to use that as an answer.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh?
The opposite direction?
direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked her, she was dead, I'm sure of it. That wasn't Junko! But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? If it wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? Maybe she used some sort of trick. Double. I don't know. Not C. Not S. Not A. Oops. Replace. Okay. Replicate. Is it replicate? Ah! Replaced.
Now I understand. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place.
What?
Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but...
Yeah, that seems insane.
That had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like
No, they
that.
switched right at the start. We've never
So
met
maybe
Junko.
the whole idea is wrong.
Need to figure out how to explain how they could have switched. They switched at the beginning.
I got it! The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
Is that why you could see her bra? Because the breast size was different.
Then we'd already met her?
I had, like, a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
It's quite early in the video, though.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
Says those nails, though.
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
Yeah, I completely missed that, the red nails.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto.
But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
But did Mukuro know she was going to get killed?
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her.
No, Mukuro was the ultimate soldier.
In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
He still refuses to admit it, but he can try and deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. He's trying to hide Junko's identity, not just once, but twice. First time during our latest investigation. Okay, and? Don't think it's... Okay.
Shoot!
This? Oh.
Shoot!
I might die here. Ah.
Shoot!
Ah!
I got it!
Sorry, yeah, I should have got that.
While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster,
It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD itself that turned off, yes.
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
No, it wasn't a fluke. The mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. Mastermind trying to cover up on other pieces of evidence is true. Yeah, the photographs. Okay, I get it now. Sorry, yeah, that was dumb of me to forget.
Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening. What are you even talking about? Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening. What are you even talking about?
Oops, I failed. No one believes me. Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Right. I was bound to die during one of those. Okay, let's try that again.
Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening. What are you even talking about?
I think I accidentally pressed the button.
Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening. What are you even talking about? Punishment is waiting for you. I'm not listening. What are you even talking about? That's impossible!
This should prove it.
We got super.
The video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Uh-oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
The unusual circumstance common in these pictures. The unusual circumstance is Junko's face.
I got it! Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face. It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think? And on top of that, in this photo, you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko.
I know, you can see her bra there as well.
Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she'd died. And the real Junko is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
And the ultimate fashionista.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the mastermind have been exposed.
No, wait, hold on!
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything, right now.
Oh, there we go, closing argument. What? I don't know. I guess that one. Body was kept in the morgue. What was it? It was a knife. I guess that. What did they do to the mask if they took it off? Put it on the body, but... the condition of the body in the garden. There we go. Okay, let's reenact this.
Here's exactly what happened. We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko Enoshima, right after we all arrived here. But that wasn't the real Junko. The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusaba. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the mastermind, Junko Enoshima. Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue.
By the way, I distinctly remember going, oh, you know what's clever? That like they make it look like they use Photoshop on her. Isn't that a nice detail? Feel like an idiot for thinking that.
Until Junko decided to put her body to use.
It's very progressive of Japan to think that like that.
Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who'd proven to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, She wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place. Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence. She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder. And the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind. The one controlling Monokuma. The real Junko Enoshima! That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
What? Are you broken again?
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Come on! It's time you finally revealed yourself!
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding?
Give it up, Junko. The game's over.
Over? Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case?
Yes?
Wrong! There's still plenty more to go!
There we go. With the two bears and everything.
We have been waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear.
Okay, she's got a very different voice and no freckles.
If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world. We've even drawn up the deed already. We will grant you honor, status, in some of our home cooking. Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us?
No thanks.
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you. It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
This is the mastermind. She's the real Junko Enoshima.
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free. Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory, or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Your face.
Huh? What about my face? What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen you.
No, I do remember seeing it. I've seen her somewhere too. Before arriving at school?
I got it! That's right! It was before I ever came to this school. I remember seeing a magazine cover. And you were on it!
Oh,
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
So I was right. Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began...
I've seen her on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like that doesn't quite match up with reality. Huh? Oh, are you talking about my cover photos and junk? Well, of course. Those are totally Photoshopped. Oh, no, they bring up Photoshops. And yeah, her boobs are a bit smaller as well. She has the creepy smile. You know, edited to hell and back with like computers and junk. I thought it was a neat touch.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
That explains why she didn't quite seem the same. Because she was a different person all along.
I'm me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist. Not even if they're twins.
Twins?
I know, it's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it. So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute. That was...
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima! And together, we were the Despair Sisters, aka the ultimate despair!
Whoa! She's a totally different person now!
Like I said, I get bored easy as hell! I even get fucking bored with myself! But if you're twins, why do you have different last names? Oh, that again? You have any idea how many times people ask me that shit? Maybe it's new to your dumb ass, but it bores me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over? Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. Ha! As if!
Well, I suppose I'd better explain. For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, things like that. But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family, leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment. So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way.
Junko, librarian Junko's the best
Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the three atrocities. Atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated. It was a lost cause. She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra unworthy of lines. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away. Which is precisely why I killed her, to meet everyone's expectations.
That can't be your only reason, can it?
So why do you have different names?
No, of course not. I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know? If I planned everything out and knew just what was gonna happen, that'd be so boring. So, I changed things just a bit and decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal, just as I suspected. When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anybody else.
This wasn't supposed to. Why me?
So, you figured it out? Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance. But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
How can you talk like that? You sacrificed your own sister. How does that not even bother you?
What? I sacrificed her? That's what's got you so hot under the collar? Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary. We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations. Nope, I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all. When I was born, I cried tears of total despair. So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill. We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything. We've always been filled with despair. So when we do something, we go all the way and live without regret.
So you just murdered your own sister and didn't think anything of it?
That's not true at all. We were twins. How could I not be sad? That's why it gets me so excited.
Huh?
Killing my precious sister with my own 2 hands. That act is filled with so much despair. You can't help but put a super in front of it.
Do you know what's really cool?
It's like super, 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 super despair.
Monokuma did all this as well.
More than that.
Switch
Super,
between
super,
different
super,
modes.
super, 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 super despair.
Which I think is really cool.
It just feels so good.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And my sister too. In that moment of death, I think she must have felt that despair. After all, to be murdered by your own sister, and only as an example to someone else, she must have died feeling such excruciating hopelessness. I'm so jealous of her. Super jealous.
I knew you couldn't be just some ordinary person. You're some kind of abnormality.
Turning your own despair into some kind of fetish. Abnormality doesn't even begin to describe it.
Like, Genocide Jill is crazy for sure, but this is a whole nother level of nuts!
You're saying I don't compare to some lowly beast that can only kill the weak, right? So I'm hopelessly attractive, hopelessly brilliant, hopelessly athletic. I'm the hopelessly perfect ultimate human.
No. I don't think there's anything perfect about anything you just said.
Yeah, Master's way more perfect. Because on top of everything else, he's got that noble blood.
Don't you mean had that noble blood?
What did you just say? What do you mean by that?
You still haven't figured that part out yet? Man, you guys are so slow! You haven't even solved all the mysteries, and yet here you are, yapping away!
Are you talking about our memories?
You've already solved this mystery, right? I'm the killer, so how about the next one? Maybe you should solve the riddle of your missing memories. Then you can start gloating.
Damn straight! That's exactly what we're going to do.
By the way, I'm not pressing the buttons anymore.
We're going to solve all these mysteries.
I think I should let you go, though.
And then, we'll have our victory!
I can't wait!
Alright, then let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you steal from us?
When the group pictures were taken, and those interviews, it must mean... I got it! It must have something to do with our entrance exams.
No fair! At least give us a hint!
Your brains are like sponges, all drippy and leaky. I already gave you a hint before. All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things. Do you recall?
Thinking back to what I don't know how long the episode is because I actually went off to make a cup of tea. The motives, the original motive. All right. Oh, I've got to.
I got it. You're talking about the motives you provided to try and get us to kill each other, right?
Right. This is getting into the original motive, so I'm going to let you go. we've got a pretty obvious name for this episode. Junko. I've been John Proxy and John West. I've been having a Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc adventure. And I'll see you guys next time. I don't know how many episodes are left, but obviously we're at the end. But like, at the end could be another few hours. But I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.